brings in the big hook. I'm a little nervous right now. Bill Main is still in the room. Usually by this time, Bill Main has exited the premises, and I feel free. But I've got to be on my P's and Q's. He's over here. Looks like he's doing busy work just to kind of, check. Oh, wait, Logan, he's got the hook. He's got the hook, no. Logan. All right. Well, look, we got to bring in our boys and girls. They do. Hey, girl, come on in, guys. Y'all come on in. Shut the door. Did you get that Barbie doll for Christmas? That's beautiful. And, you got a fire truck. That's so sweet. Good for y'all. I'm glad you brought your toys with you today. Well, y'all come in, gather around. There's a microphone right here. I'm going to turn it around and get you on the air because I want you to lead us off on this Monday morning with a good pledge. Now, y'all do your best. And then next door, Mr. Main will carry you over there and get you an ice cream. And we'll charge Jay Jacobs and Anna. We'll charge them for the ice cream. So are y'all ready? Are you ready, boys and girls? All right, get a little closer. Shut the door. It's a little chilly. All right, let's hear it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, bye-bye, boys and girls. So good to have you today. Man, y'all are just doing that so well. Thank you so much. And we'll get some more of your colleagues and peers in here tomorrow, and they'll do a good job too, I'm sure. All right, well, we got lots to talk about today. And by the way, we've got lots of great guests lined up for these next 3 days. I hope that you'll listen in. If you have some questions, you can text them, 770-535-2911, and I'll try to record them and hold them for you. But we have Lee Hawkins today, around 10 o'clock, I believe, Representative Lee Hawkins. And then we'll have Senator Drew Eccles in on Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday. And then we'll have Emory Donahue in on Wednesday. And we'll also have Bill Crane on Wednesday. So we got some great guests to come into the studio and or to make a phone call in and really have some good discussion. So if you have some questions for any of these representatives, text them over to me, 770-535-2911. And we'll make a record of it and we'll keep it. Well, many stories I have for you today. One is under the category of I saw this coming. That's the name of it. I saw this coming. I was in Guatemala many, many, many years ago for the very first time on a mission trip to the landfill there. We have a ministry there, have a school and some other, jobs training programs there in the landfill. We help a lot of people and we enjoy it. Gotten to know many of them over the last 20 years of being there. But in my trips to Guatemala and back, I saw something and I said often to my colleagues and peers on the trip, that's coming to America. That's coming to America. That's coming to America. And I'm going to let you think about what I might have been referring to. So if you think you know, text me, 770-535-2911. If you think you know what I was talking about 10, 15 years ago as I surveyed the landscape of Guatemala, and I said, that's coming to America. You text me and let me know what you think I might have been referring to, 770-535-2911. And if you get it right, I will leave you at our main office up there on Thompson Bridge. I'll leave you a copy of my book, Uncommon Common Sense, if you get it right. So think about it and text me, 770-535-2911, 535-2911. Tell me, what was I referring to 15, 20 years ago when I said, from Guatemala, that's coming to America? So we have that story. We also have another story I want to talk to you about. I hear all this, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling when it comes to the midterms. But yet that's not what some of the data seems to be saying. I've got a story that talks about the increased number of Republican voter registrants lining up to vote Republican and in the swing states. And I'll talk to you about that, and we'll see if the sky truly is falling. And not to brag on myself, because, I really do not like to brag on myself. I mean, like me and Donald Trump are the two least likely to brag on ourselves people in the whole world. Logan, that's a fair statement that Donald Trump and I are the two least likely persons to brag on ourselves.
Tom, you were right on the money with that one.
But I told you several months ago, it was back during the November election, a couple of months ago now, I reckon, when Madami won New York. I told you then, I had Logan play the little chickadee, the sky is falling, and I told you it wasn't falling because in Nassau County, an executive, like a commission executive, one of the county commissioners or what do they call themselves, that they run that Nassau County, which is right next door to New York. I shared with you his story, and he won overwhelmingly his reelection, I think 15-20%, in an area that had 2-to-1 Democratic registered voters, and he won as a Republican. And I shared with you his story. He was talking about how he didn't run from the Trump agenda, how he embraced it. He embraced strong policing in the community. He embraced not being a sanctuary city. He embraced common sense policy like not having boys in girls' bathrooms. He embraced it. He didn't run from it. And he won overwhelmingly. Well, now, today, he is now a candidate for governor. That's right. With the representative dropping out, he has now jumped in the race, and Donald Trump has already endorsed him. So I tried to tell you that several weeks ago, a month ago or so, that the sky is not falling when it comes to the midterms. Who knows? The Republicans, I can't say we because I've never been a registered Republican. I've never registered for any party. I'm not a Republican today. I'm a conservative who operates from a biblical worldview. But if Republicans want to win, there's some things they can do right, and they can win. But they also can snatch defeat from the jaws of victory if they're not careful. Well, I came across this audio clip. You've got to hear this. I want you to hear this audio clip because this sums up why I, Tom Smiley, could never, ever vote for anybody with a D beside their name.
If I can't trust you not to put a boy in a teenage girl's locker room, how will I ever listen to your plan for taxes and the economy?
Right.
I will not, because I've already concluded you're a lunatic.
There you go. You're a lunatic. Marxist, socialist, progressive, woke, democratic lunatic. If I can't trust you not to put boys in girls' bathrooms, how in the world do you think I could trust you to come up with sound fiscal policy or sound tax policy or sound immigration policy? You are a lunatic, in my opinion. All right, we'll be right back. We got lots of more sound clips, lots of more stories, and we'll have a good time here on the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley. Stay tuned.
Everyone wants to live a rich life, especially in retirement. Join Rich Life advisor Bo Henderson for the Rich Life Retirement Show, where the math shows you the path. Sundays at 12:35 on WDUN.
Let's dream of a green Christmas with Steel Power Equipment. If you're prepping your yard, cutting firewood, or cleaning outdoor spaces, Steel tools make it easy to keep your lawn looking its best, even in winter. It's the perfect time of year to gift the quality and power of Steel. Stop by Howard Brothers and find the ideal gift for the outdoor enthusiast in your life. Their folks can help you bring home the tools to make it a wonderful green Christmas this year. Merry Christmas from Steel and Howard Brothers.
I'm willing to wager that when you cook, you don't skimp on quality. At Loretta's Country Kitchen, we don't either. This is Grant Nichols at Loretta's, where we use only the best ingredients, including Springer Mountain chicken tenders, canned sauces, Hormel bacon, and Jimmy Dean's sausage. It's also why we make our biscuits from scratch every day. We don't compromise on quality, and neither should you. Enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner with us, and bring your friends. Loretta's Country Kitchen, Monday Mill Road, Oakwood, where it's all good.
You wouldn't want someone you couldn't trust working on your family's HVAC and plumbing, so why would you call anyone but Gainesville Mechanical? They're your local, most trusted and award-winning HVAC and plumbing company in North Georgia. From maintenance appointments and clogged drains to plumbing emergencies and new system installations, their team is ready to serve you. And with their customer assurance maintenance plan, you can receive discounts, priority scheduling, and 24/7 no overtime rates. Gainesville Mechanical and Bryant, doing whatever it takes since 1989.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness
that will push past physical
and mental breaking points.
You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, over 20 teachers from Gwinnett County Schools are awarded grants for project support from a Jackson EMC initiative. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical, from the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
All right, boys and girls, so glad to have you with us today. Man, it's a little chilly, windy looking outside. I tell you, it's a little cloudy and overcast. It was a beautiful day yesterday and Sunday. My goodness gracious. Played golf Sunday afternoon with a couple of friends, just casually around after church and after dinner and so forth. And I had people out there in short pants and short shirts, short sleeve shirts. It was really nice, but looks like the weather's turning a tad. All right, 770-535-2911 if you want to try your chance at a free book entitled Uncommon Common Sense. That's the third book I wrote, or you might say I plagiarized. I'll be glad to give you a copy if you can guess the answer to this question. When I was in Guatemala several years ago for the very first time, I looked around the landscape and I saw something. And I'll give you a hint. You want a hint? I saw something at the stores and the restaurants. Okay, that's a hint. And I said to my friends, that's coming to America. That's coming to America. Well, my prophecy is now bearing accuracy because I have a story that exactly states what I said 15, 20 years ago. So what was I referring to when I said that's coming to America? If you get the answer right, I'll give you a free copy of my book, Uncommon Common Sense. 770-535-2911. You can text as many times as you like. And as they come in, I'll read them and I'll tell you if it's right or wrong. I said that's coming to America as I surveyed the stores, the retail stores, the restaurants. I said that's coming to America. What was I referring to? All right. Well, Friday it was. I spent a great deal of time referring to a hoax that I am just really fed up with. I mean, I've just had it. And this is another reason why I could never, ever vote for anyone who had a D beside their name. I just couldn't do it because they're lunatics in my estimation. I'm just telling you, if you think that wrongly about stuff, you just have to be a lunatic.
So, Tom, we got a call in about a potential answer for your question.
Oh.
And so we got Michael, and he says, is it a cashless society?
No, Michael.
Oh, good guess,
That is
though.
a great guess. That is a great guess, but that's not quite correct. Well, really, it's not really even warm. But keep thinking. Keep thinking. It has to do with stores and retail stores and restaurants and all the kind of places, and I said that's coming to America. All right, well, Friday, I spoke extensively on the hoax of transgenderism. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a hoax. If you don't believe it, just go back and get the Friday notes and listen to the show again. I reviewed for almost 45 minutes why it is a hoax. Well, today I have another hoax for you. It is one that I saw coming many years ago. And Rush Limbaugh, bless his name, Rush Limbaugh, was one of the very first people I ever heard say that this was a hoax. And he's talking about climate change. So let me listen to what about this. Bill Gates has changed his mind about the hoax of climate change.
Billionaire Bill Gates appears to be changing his tune on climate change. For years, he's been warning it was one of the greatest threats facing all of humanity. And here's a reminder.
The actual economic and death toll from climate change will be much, much, much greater than what we have with this pandemic.
You believe this is the toughest challenge humanity has ever faced?
Absolutely.
Okay, but now he's out with a new memo that reads, quote, although climate change will have serious consequences, particularly for people in the poorest countries, it will not lead to humanity's demise. People will be able to live and thrive in most places on Earth for the foreseeable future.
There you go. I mean, Bill Gates said years ago, did you believe this? Do you believe he said? And many people said it with him. I, of course, refuted it. I said it was a bunch of hogwash. I said then, and I'll say now, climate change is a hoax. Because in my biblical worldview, I recognize that God put us in charge of the environment to be managers, to be stewards. And Bill Gates, do you believe Bill Gates said years ago that climate change was going to be more deathly than the pandemic we just came out of? And now he's changed his tune. He said, you know what? On second thought, it's not really that bad. It's going to be just fine. Another hoax bites the dust. All right. Well, we got a lot of stories coming up. I just want to share that with you. All right. Any more suggestions for my question?
So we got 2 callers on hold here.
Right.
Chad from Oakwood. He thinks that the answer is going to be microchips.
No, Chad.
Not microchips.
No,
Okay.
No, Chad, you're not warm.
Not
warm.
All right. We also got Jeff on, and he's thinking that he thinks it's going to be everything's behind glass. You know how you go in the stores?
Oh, now, Chad.
Everything's behind glass
Chad,
here. That's Jeff.
Jeff, you are very close. I mean, you are so warm. Matter of fact, we played a game this Christmas, my wife and I did, with our grandchildren. And they hid stuff in the house. And then we would say if they were warm or hot or cold or whatever in finding it. And I'm telling you, Jeff, you are so very close.
You want me to bring him on here? You want me to bring him on? We can see. He's got a few minutes to think here. We can see if he's got an answer.
Bring him up.
All right, give me just a second.
Yeah, bring him up. And let's see.
He hung up. He hung up on us.
Think about it, Jeff. And what was his answer?
He thought it was you put items behind, everything's behind glass.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, if you haven't our answer, call us back. We'll get you on the air here, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Jeff, you're very close. And if no one gets it, I might give it to you for it being a good try. Yeah, might do that. So, yeah, very close. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share. I've got several audio. I just want to do some audio clips for you today because I don't want you to just listen to me all day. I want you to listen to some people who really know what they're talking about. And you know, one guy that has really impressed me, and let me tell you, I have been impressed with J.D. Vance. Have you all? Have you been? I really have been impressed with J.D. Vance. I was not in favor of J.D. Vance being the vice presidential nominee because I didn't think. Not because I didn't believe in him or I didn't think he believed correctly, but I just didn't think he could bring enough to the ticket. But I was wrong, and he has proven to be a fantastic vice president, and he will make a great president one day. But I'm going to tell you, Marco Rubio has distinguished himself in just the way he handles himself, the way he handles himself with the press, his calmness. And so I want you to listen to this audio from Marco Rubio, who basically says, look, the European Union, they don't have a right to tell America what we can do or not do, especially in our hemisphere, when it comes to protecting our people. And I want you to listen how calmly, how concisely, how specifically Marco Rubio addresses this reporter. It's really fabulous, and it makes me really have a lot of respect for him.
And then we have this. Watch Marco Rubio destroy the EU claims that President Trump violated international law by targeting narco-terrorists.
I don't think that the European Union gets to determine what international law is. They certainly don't get to determine is how the United States defends its national security. The United States is under attack from organized criminal narco-terrorists in our hemisphere, and the president is responding in the defense of our country. I do find it interesting that all these countries want us to send, and supply, for example, nuclear-capable Tomahawk missiles to defend Europe. But when the United States positions aircraft carriers in our hemisphere where we live, somehow that's a problem. So I would say that the United States and this president has made very clear, his job is to protect the United States from threats against the United States, and that is what he's doing in this operation.
I'm just telling you, that answer was great. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's amazing to me that, that this leftist, Marxist, socialist group of lunatics want to constantly spend money and send goods and send resources over to, Ukraine, which I'm okay with. We need to help them, and we need to get that war resolved and get it over with. But we do need help. But yet when it comes to working in our own hemisphere and protecting ourselves from these narco-terrorists, that they want to somehow pull back on that. And they want us to agree that, well, maybe we should handle it a different way. This is as Roosevelt said, this is a war. It's a war on drugs. Do you not get that? Now, it hasn't been fought like a war. It has not. But Franklin Roosevelt, was it Frank? I believe it was. I think that's who I'm not exact. Somebody Google that and text me, 770-535-2911. But I'm pretty sure it was Franklin who said war. Okay. But anyway, what gives them the right to tell us what we can do in our efforts to protect our own people? And if you don't like the fact that we're doing what we are doing in fighting this war on drugs, for the first time a president's had the nerve to really do it, then I don't really need to hear from you. And I hear these crying woke liberal Marxist socialists say, well, you should have the Coast Guard pull them over on the side of the ocean there and, and search their boats. And if they've got drugs, arrest them and bring them all to America and put them in jail and then do a trial and blah, blah, blah. No, you shouldn't. You should do exactly what President Trump is doing. You should use your intel to be 100% certain that that's what they're doing, and then you should blast them out of the water. And if you don't blast them completely the first, you should blast them again. They are terrorists. They are evil. They are killing our young people with their drugs. Blast them out of the water. Don't pull them over on the side of the ocean and load them up in the paddy wagon. That's not the answer. I'm Tom Smiley. I'll be back with you on the Martha Zoller Show. Stay tuned.
This is Terrell with the Spa on Green Street. Tara, every year someone asks me what to get the person who has everything.
Easy, Terrell. It's a gift card from the Spa on Green Street.
Exactly. A massage, a facial, or even a full spa day. Our journeys are amazing. They can choose whatever fills their cup.
Beautifully packaged. Simply come into the spa and get your gift card or order online at spaongreenstreet.com.
Where giving the gift of wellness is always in season.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all our friends and family from Hayes Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Baldwin. It's that time of the year to see red and save green at the model year closeout at Hayes of Baldwin. Are you needing something to pull that sleigh with? How about a new Ram 2500 HD with up to $11,000 off MSRP? Having a tough time getting to grandmother's for the season? Check out a new Jeep Wrangler Gladiator up to $10,000 off MSRP. Stop in at Hayes Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Baldwin to save more green.
Hey, Daddy, what's in a crawl space?
That's a good question, Annie. I'm Cody Lovin with Crawl Space Medic. Musty smells, dampness, and sagging insulation means your crawl space or basement might need some attention. Our team quickly finds and fixes moisture problems, updates moisture barriers, and resolves structural issues, ensuring your home stays dry and comfortable. Don't let your crawl space problems affect your comfort, air quality, or property value. Visit crawlspacemedic.com.
A healthy home starts from the ground up.
Get breaking news fast. Sign up at accesswdun.com for breaking news alerts via text. Log on to accesswdun.com for details and to sign up. You can also sign up to receive local weather and sports alerts. Get the news first with breaking news text alerts from Access WDUN and North Georgia's News Talk. WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 9:30.
Fox News, I'm Angelo Bavaro. President Trump set to meet with Israel's prime minister today at Mar-a-Lago to talk next steps in the Gaza peace process. The president also working on a deal in the Russia-Ukraine war. He says negotiators are closer than ever.
The comments follow his meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Florida. Both leaders acknowledge, quote, thorny issues remain and warn unexpected obstacles could still derail talks.
Fox's Mike Emanuel. A virtual hearing scheduled for today in the case of Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin.
Judge Tony Graff is expected to reconsider the gag order in this case after prosecutors argued against what they called an unlawful prior restraint on speech. The judge will also consider whether to release transcripts of a closed-door hearing from October.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow, and the search is ongoing for a missing juvenile out of Flowery Branch. WDUN's Lawson Smith with details.
A press release from Monday from FBPD says Sarah Magaga, an 11-year-old female, was last seen after walking away from her residence on Screech Owl Drive Sunday evening at around 7 p.m. As of last update, her whereabouts are unknown. Anyone with information regarding Sarah Magaga's location is urged to call Flowery Branch 911 immediately. A photo of Sarah can be found online at Access WDUN.
Georgia Department of Public Safety continues monitoring traffic incidents and crashes across the state for the holiday season, and the number of crashes reported from law enforcement between early Christmas Eve and Sunday at 6 p.m. totaled 283, and among those, 105 injuries reported with 4 fatalities among crash scenes where Georgia State Patrol responded. A total of 13 fatalities have been tallied from law enforcement statewide. Complete stats from the GDPS are found at Access WDUN. And the owners of a Carrollton collectible shop say Christmas robberies at the store are not dampening their spirits.
I called him, my business partner. He said, "Hey, Merry Christmas." We got robbed.
That's co-owner of Tag Collects, Tommy Brown, telling Atlanta News First about their robbery Christmas Eve where thieves stole more than $80,000 worth of items. About 90% of the store's merchandise are Pokemon trading cards, which can be very pricey.
GNN's Rocio Rivera reporting. You'll find more news online at Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
We've got a really windy day on our hands. Clearing skies, slight chance of a shower as temperatures are falling and they'll end up near 40 later today. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Mount Airy, 46 degrees, Commerce, 50, and in Gainesville, down to 49. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
So it's time to replace your roof. You've seen your neighbor's metal roof and wondered if that's for you. The answer is yes, thanks to Dawsonville Metal Products. Metal roofing from Dawsonville Metal gives you the maximum choices for making your roof look and function its best. It can be installed over your existing roof and can boost your home's value. Let Justin Odom show you the many benefits of metal roofing. Call Dawsonville Metal Products at 706-265-3099 and visit them online at dawsonvillemetal.com.
What if I need to go into a nursing home? Will I lose my home? This is Kevin Tharp, elder law and estate planning attorney, and I'm here to give you some good news. The short answer is no. You will not lose your home if you need to transition to a nursing home, but there's steps that you need to take. I've made it my mission in life to help folks in your situation, but you need to make the first call. Visit my website at kevintharp.com and learn how to get help planning for the rest of your life.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Well, congratulations to Dan. And Dan, I want you to call. 770-535-2911. Dan, you got the answer correct. I was about to give you all another hint. Our extraordinary producer, Brother Logan, said, "Dr. Tom, you need to do another hint." So I was about to do another hint. And then Dan's text or email came in, and he nailed it. He hit it exactly correct. He talked about how stores in Guatemala and et cetera, like I observed 20 years ago, all had armed security guards in the stores and in the parking lots. And Dan, you are exactly correct. And I was correct because I'm looking at an article right now dated December 24th, 2025, and the name of the article says, or the title is, McDonald's locks doors to keep out individuals who present a risk in crime-ridden Minneapolis area. When I was in Guatemala many years ago, I had never been really out of the country. And we have a mission over there. We work in the landfill. We do job training, and we also help build churches in the land. It's a huge landfill. There's hundreds of acres. And we help build houses or huts and a couple of churches even in the landfill. And the people scavenge during the day, looking for copper and glass and plastics and other things they can recycle for cash, pennies and nickels. Their children aren't allowed to go to school or aren't able to go to school because they need to help their parents, savage in the landfill. And so they don't have time to go to school. So we went into the landfill and we established a school. And it started with pre-K. And then the next year we added, kindergarten, and then first grade, second grade, third grade. And now after several decades, we're up to like the 9th grade using, certified teachers in a school building that we and others built. So it's just been a wonderful ministry. And so I've been to Guatemala now back and forth many times. But when I was there the very first time, 15, 20 years ago, I saw these at McDonald's and at chicken places and at just drug stores. I saw armed security guards. Now, they weren't armed with clubs and cameras. They were armed with like AK-47s and shotguns. And there was always 2 or 3 of them, 2 in the parking lot, 1 inside. And when you pulled up, they walked up to your car. They wrote down your tag number. They wrote down the time that you arrived. And then they gave you a slip of paper. And then you walk in, and there's armed guards inside. Armed guards. And I said to many of my friends many years ago, I said, that's coming to America. It's coming to America where you're going to have armed guards at stores and restaurants. Not just for robberies, but just you got to have it for safety. And that has certainly proven to be true, because I'm looking at an article right now where there's a sign attached to the door at a McDonald's in Minneapolis. And the sign says, "Attention guest. Effective Friday, December 5th, our dining room doors will be locked and attended during our normal business hours of 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. to ensure a safe environment." Now, the next step for them is to put armed guards there. But that's where we're coming. And I saw that happening in Guatemala many years ago, and I predicted it would happen here. And it certainly has. I'm wondering if you have experienced this anywhere. Any of you been traveling throughout America? Give me a text if you'd like, 770-535-2911. Tell me where you were and if there were armed guards. Now, I will tell you, many of you could say, in my church, because in most of our churches today, we do have armed guards, armed police officers, off-duty police officers. In the church that I attend, we have uniformed armed officers, and I like that better than just plain clothes. If you have a plain clothes officer in your church, nobody really knows they're there. A person traveling by doesn't know they're there. They may come in to do something nefarious, and yes, you may stop them with your plain clothes officer, but if they had known that an officer was there in the first place, maybe they wouldn't even have stopped. So in the church that I attend, we have armed, uniformed city police officers who park their patrol car out to the side in the parking lot. So if somebody rides by, they know we have Gainesville City police officers in and around our campus. I think that is good. I think that is really, really healthy. I'll tell you something it has done over the years, because we use the same 4, 5, or 6. And it has really created a bond between these officers and many of our students, not to mention our senior adults. Many of the officers we use, some of them are with the county, and they are school resource officers. So they know many of our students anyway. So I don't have any problem with that. And so I know that in our churches we have armed security. But I'm wondering have you been traveling throughout our country, throughout our countryside? Have you noticed an uptick in security at regular type retail and restaurants? I'm just interested if you've noticed that. 770-535-2911. This particular article goes on to say that there are 11 McDonald's restaurants located in Minneapolis with over 13,500 locations in the U.S., according to the McDonald's information. Minneapolis has had 4,473 total violent crimes in this fiscal year, 2,800 cases of aggravated assault, and 65 homicides, according to police reports. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has been cracking down on crime in the Twin Cities, and they recently said that they arrested several child sex offenders, domestic abusers, and violent gang members. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is happening all across our country. But I'm not trying to brag on myself, but I'm telling you, I saw this coming many years ago, and I'm just wondering, are you seeing that in your travels. 770-535-2911. Or are you opposed to that? Do you think we shouldn't have? If you will give me a thumbs down, that's fine. You're not hurt my feelings. You're not going to change my mind, but you're not going to hurt my feelings either. Should we have armed security guards in our churches, in our schools, and in our restaurants and retail stores? Just a question. I'd love to have your answer. 770-535-2911. Dan, you get the book, and it is a good book, Dan. Let me tell you, Dan, some of the things you're going to discover in this book entitled Uncommon Common Sense, Cowboy Logic, Quips and Quotes, and True Political Correctness. That's the name of the book that I plagiarized many years ago. In the Quips and Quotes section, Dan, you're going to read many, many pages of my most favorite quips and quotes. Like, for instance, we are all either fools or undiscovered geniuses. That's a good quote. Here's one. Failure is success if we learn from it. That's another good one. Here's another one that says, any man who'd make an X-rated movie ought to have to take his daughter with him to see it. John Wayne said that many years ago. So you'll find some very cool quips and quotes. And also there's a segment in my book, Dan, that you just won. You just won this book, Uncommon Common Sense. There is a Yogi Berra said it best segment. You remember Yogi Berra? Yeah, Yogi Berra said it best. Yogi Berra said, and I quote, he hits from both sides of the plate. He's amphibious. Yogi Berra. And here's another Yogi Berra quote. I just want to thank everyone who made this day necessary. And then, let's see, let me find another one here. Yogi Berra said, baseball is about one of my favorite ones. Yogi Berra said, baseball is 90% mental and the other half is physical. So you'll find that in the Yogi Berra section. And then let's see, there's another section here. Oh, yeah, this section is entitled How the Fight Starts. How the Fight Started. And here's one of my favorite ones. I took my wife to a restaurant. The waiter, for some reason, took my order first. I said, I'll have the steak medium rare, please. The waiter said, aren't you worried about Mad Cow? Nah, she can order for herself, I said. Then the fight started. Would you ever say that to your loved one there, Logan?
No way, Tom. No, I'll say some of the yogi-isms, but that's about it.
So, Dan, you've won you a book, Uncommon Common Sense. Give me a day or two. I'll run it by the Thompson Bridge office, WDUN, former studios. All right, well, we've got a lot of good sound bites still left. I've got some great audio for you. I mean, you're really going to like this stuff. And some good stories to boot. And we also have Representative Lee Hawkins coming on around 10 o'clock. So if you have some questions that you'd like for me to ask Representative Hawkins, I'd be happy to do that. 770-535-2911, 770-535-2911. Just shoot that over to me, and I'll make a note of it and do my best to ask him your question. All right, we'll be right back. You're listening to Tom Smiley on the Martha Zoller Show. I hope your day's going well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the news that affects you and the talk that keeps you listening.
We'll continue on with additional discussions today as we stay engaged.
North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Magical Nights of Lights is back at Lanier Islands Resort. This season, let your holiday spirit shine as you drive through 6 miles of twinkling lights, from marching toy soldiers to brand new surprises like tailgating Santa and pickleball elves. Turn the magic into memories with overnight packages for the ultimate Christmas experience, featuring breakfast with Santa and elf tuck-ins that bring the wonder of the season to life. The lights are glowing, the joy is calling. It's time to celebrate at Lanier Islands Resort. Visit LanierIslands.com for reservations.
On-time service and experience matter for your home's heating and air system. For more than 40 years, Conditioned Air Systems has been North Georgia's solution for residential HVAC installation, maintenance, and repair. Family owned and operated, we deliver the highest quality service on any brand and model with no hidden fees, promising 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Comfort you can feel, quality you can trust. Visit conditionedairsystems.com to schedule an appointment.
When you have a problem with your roof, you want someone who can respond quickly, but also who knows roofing. That's what you get at Georgia Select Roofing. This is Chris Earls, and we do roofing right. Estimates are free, we can help you navigate your insurance claim, and we also offer financing. Check out our Google reviews and you'll see that Georgia Select Roofing offers the best service around. See us today at georgiaselectroofing.com or call us at 678-316-6899. Family owned and operated, Georgia Select Roofing has you covered.
Check your pockets and you'll find a quarter ready to inspire you to visit the state you find on the back. It's America the Great on a podcast called Quarter Miles Travel, from Virginia's historic sites to the wide open plains of Montana, the low country rhythms of coastal Georgia to the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. Explore America based on the U.S. Mid-State Quarters. Hi, it's Anita with Travel with Anita and Friends. Quarter Miles Travel is all about pride in our states and our country. The natural beauty, the history, landmarks, and interesting people all make our country an exceptional place to visit. Go to my website, travelwithanita.com, where you will hear the podcast with stories told by historians and people who know the little-known facts. So come along, let's go on an adventure. Reach in your pocket and pull out that quarter. Flip it over, and Quarter Miles Travel will take it from there. We'll help you turn that quarter into an adventure.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, Hall County deputies recently surprised 3 families with Christmas gifts over the holiday season. Details at Access WDUN. And coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley, filling in for Martha, and I'm having a great time being with you today. I'll be back tomorrow and Wednesday. Got a great lineup of guests, by the way. Just some great guests, like Representative Lee Hawkins. And I'm telling you, he's a friend of mine. I have a lot of respect for him, a lot of confidence in him, and I enjoy talking to him. So no gotcha questions, no trying to get in your face kind of stuff. I don't believe in all that. Just carry on a conversation. And there's some questions that some folks have asked me to ask him, and I'll do that. And if you'd like for me to ask Representative Hawkins a question or two, you can do that. Send it to me, 770-535-2911. I've got Senator Drew Eccles coming in on Tuesday, and then Emory Donahue, who's retiring, he's coming in on Wednesday. And then probably we'll have Bill Crane as well. So, I mean, I count all of these people my friends. I do. I count them as my friends. And you know what? I have no axe to grind. I just enjoy talking to people. So really, if you have a question, go ahead and text it to me right now, 770-535-2911. I do want to ask Representative Hawkins a question, not really maybe in his particular preview, but I'd like to get his opinion. Because you remember a few weeks ago we had this discussion about what would be best, the elimination of property tax or the elimination of income tax. And that was a very robust discussion that we had, and many of you had different opinions about that. I suppose as a recent senior adult with no income, I mean, it's not like I get paid to do this show, right? Just no income. Other than just living off of the investments that I've been able to accumulate over the years. I would probably like the elimination of property tax, because my property tax this year was huge, and nothing changed really about my house. I mean, the same house I lived in for the last 12 years. So that would help me personally. But I don't know, it might be better for everyone else and for our economy if we eliminated income tax. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that with Representative Hawkins, get his opinion. I just like to know what people think when it comes to things like that. I do know that Representative Hawkins is very knowledgeable of the health field, given his profession and his general knowledge. So I do want to talk to him about, this whole health care issue, both on the state and federal level. Just get his take on where he thinks we're going with that. What are some of his ideas that he thinks would work? So we'll talk about some of that. So 770-535-2911. You can send your question to me if you'd like. All right. We have a caller.
That we do. Let's head out to Dahlonega and talk with Alan.
Alan, welcome to the Martha Zoller Show. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you doing the show.
Thank you.
I was hearing you talk about church security, and this is something that's bothered me some, that where I go, they've got it locked down except for one door,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like we have greeters, but the greeters are like inside, and then they have it just where one person is holding open the front door,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like very welcoming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
was it the presence of the police? I understand that,
Mm-hmm.
but so you're right about having them there, and actually the sheriff's officer that's at the church is very friendly, and he actually ended up getting baptized.
Oh,
so
wow.
that was
Wonderful.
cool.
Yeah, that was great. Well, Alan,
but
I think, I get where you're coming from. And stay on the line. We'll talk a little bit about this. I get where you're coming from. I think you got to be real intentional when you start making these decisions. Like, for instance, the church that I go to, which is, I don't mind telling you, is Lakewood, the church where I go to, we have golf cart drivers and greeters in the parking lot. So, so right off the bat, we are greeting people in the parking lot. And then as they come closer to the front door, we have many of our greeters outside the door on the sidewalk there greeting folks. And then we have another set of greeters at the information desk for people who need actual information about where to go or what to do. So you have to be very, very intentional. And so that's one thing I would suggest. And we do have security doors, but on Sunday, our main doors are open, but they're all staffed. We have them staffed with at least two greeters. And all of them, by the way, we all have, they have earpiece walkie-talkies, earpiece radios. Everybody's in communication with one another. Even when I'm in the parking lot driving the golf carts, I have a radio where I can communicate directly to the police officer and or to other people, on the campus as might be needed. So medical people, et cetera, et cetera. So, Alan, I understand exactly what you're talking about. Sounds like your church is doing some right things. Maybe they just might want to be a little more intentional about doing some of those other things a little bit better. What do you think?
Well, I appreciate it. Good ideas. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. Good talking to you, and thank you for calling. Thank you so very much. 770. We've had some great callers, extraordinary producer.
That's a great way to start the week.
Man alive, we start this up, I'm going to have to get a raise. I do get paid by caller, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And does it also include texters, or just callers?
I have to look in the fine print. I don't know if it's payment in terms of cash or if it's in terms of oatmeal cream pies, but you have to read the fine print maybe on the third page.
Yeah, well, I will also say the third star on my sign is falling off again. So
it's all the wind today.
Must be the wind.
Knocked all the leaves and stuff off now.
I'm sure management is going to get on that. They'll be out there with post hole diggers and some glue to fix the star on my parking lot out there, my parking spike. All right, look. So I've got this story I want to get your take on. So we hear, the sky is falling when it comes to affordability and prices and et cetera and et cetera. But do you really know the facts?
Just the facts, ma'am.
That comes from Dragnet. Play that one more time, extraordinary producer.
Just the facts, ma'am.
So what are the facts? Well, the facts are Donald Trump has done a pretty good job with his policies when it comes to the economy, especially, I will say, because this is what I watch the most when it comes to Wall Street. Now, we need Wall Street and Main Street to work together. We got to have a strong Wall Street and a strong Main Street. But as a retiree, I do focus a tad more on the Wall Street because that's where the income stream comes from, is from the investments and how well they're doing. So I can tell you from my experience, the policies of Donald Trump are working out pretty good for me. And then we do have coming up next month, with the big, beautiful bill, you've got no tax on tips, you got no tax on overtime, you've got some Social Security relief, taxes on that. You've got a lot of stuff that's going to be kicking in. You have a refund that is coming to many, many middle-class Americans. So I don't know that the sky is falling, and I wish people would follow the facts, but many of them aren't. So let's hear it directly from, and no offense intended, directly from the horse's mouth when it comes to how well are we doing with policies.
I'm puzzled by the anger on the left about everything.
There is anger about everything.
Let's start the other one. That's my fault, extraordinary producer. This is the one about the Trump drops the receipts for savings since Biden's office exits. Yeah, we got that. My bad.
Give me just a second. Tell them to get that one pulled up here.
Yeah, that was one. We're going to hear that one because the early one was Lee Strassel, and he's so good with his stuff. And he has a great audio on why is the left so angry. You know, I look at that. I watch some of the news. And these people are crazy. They're lunatics. They're angry. They're just angry. And I have the question: why are they so angry? So Lee Strassel is going to answer that question. All right. Well, we'll have a hard. We're working on that sound clip, but I'll tell you the story. The story is President Trump recently gave a speech, and in his speech he touted how the economy is coming back. Now, will it come back fast enough for the voters? I don't know, because the Democrat woke socialist communist Marxist party, they're going to do their best to paint a very negative picture. They did this with Bush 1 and Bush 2, if you remember. I think it was mainly against Bush 1. They started talking about how bad the economy was, and the economy wasn't that bad, statistically speaking. But they kept telling people how bad off they were until they finally believed them. And that's what same playbook they're trying to use this time. Will it work? I don't know. Trump, in his speech recently, talked about just how well things are going. And he had many examples. He announced, for instance, in his primetime address that he was zeroing in on the economy and that he was really going to work on this affordability that the Democrats keep whining about. And I've got some opinions about that, too. So we'll talk about that and some other stuff coming back. We'll find that audio for you. And Representative Lee Hawkins will be in the studio. We'll talk to him. And we have lots of good stuff coming your way on the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley. Stay tuned.
While technology has certainly changed the way people do business, it hasn't changed the way we treat our customers. It's Mike Cormier, and at Hardy Chevrolet, we are as committed to excellent customer service as the Hardys were when they started the business here in Gainesville over 4 decades ago. When it's time for a new or used vehicle, remember what Charles Hardy always said.
We love you and we need you.
Together, let's drive. At Hardy Chevrolet, Brownsbridge Road in Gainesville, online at hardychevrolet.com.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10 o'clock.
From trying to stop the war in Ukraine to trying to keep the peace in Gaza. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's on President Trump's agenda. In about 3 hours, he'll host Israel's prime minister at the Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, where he held talks yesterday with Ukraine's leader Volodymyr Zelensky.
It's unresolved, but it's getting a lot closer.
The president says they made progress, but there are thorny issues to work out, including who gets what territory Ukraine and Russia keep fighting over. There was also a Trump phone call with Russian leader Vladimir Putin, who Reuters reports told generals today the war must continue as he tries to take over the city of Zaporizhia. As for today's talks...
Months after a ceasefire and hostage release took hold between Israel and Hamas in Gaza, the second phase of that plan remains in doubt. President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have struck differing positions over the makeup of an international stability force in Gaza. Netanyahu has also announced plans for Israel to develop a domestic weapons manufacturing industry, he says, to reduce dependence on all players, including friends.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. He confessed That's what Justice Department documents made public are showing in the case against Brian Cole Jr., the man accused of planting pipe bombs outside Democratic and Republican national headquarters in Washington. They were found January 5th, 2021.
The night before the now infamous riot at the U.S. Capitol. According to those records, Cole tells federal agents that he was relieved the bombs didn't explode and that no one was hurt, but also that he detests both political parties, insisting no one knows his personal politics, but that he felt a need to speak up for people who believe the 2020 election was stolen.
Fox's Evan Brown. There's a lot of snow to shovel. Iowa to Michigan. More forecast all the way to Maine. Fox Weather's Katie Byrne in upstate New York.
Another foot of snow or more to places like Buffalo, Niagara Falls. Officials are actually urging people to get off the roads. That's because of near whiteout conditions.
And there are more than 500 flights canceled, 2,200 delayed today. America's listening to Fox News.
Always here. Always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow, and the search continues for a missing juvenile out of Flowery Branch from this weekend. WDUN's Lawson Smith has details.
A press release from Monday from FBPD says Sarah Magaga, an 11-year-old female, was last seen after walking away from her residence on Screech Owl Drive Sunday evening at around 7 p.m. As of last update, her whereabouts are unknown. Anyone with information regarding Sarah Magaga's location is urged to call Flowery Branch 911 immediately. A photo of Sarah can be found online at Access WDUN.
Residents who heard a loud noise in Lumpkin County last Friday should not be alarmed, as authorities say that sound was caused by the safe disposal of old, unstable ordnance. More from WDUN's Caleb Hutchins.
According to the Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit carried out the disposal at around 7:45 p.m. The disposal took place at the Sheriff's Office's firing range after the items were reportedly discovered at a local residence. Officials emphasized that there's not believed to be any danger to the public.
3 former Gwinnett County Public School students have been nominated for Grammy Awards. WDUN's Logan Landers has details.
John Kadadu, Luke Bernadelle, and Andrew Hitt all had previously participated in the Grayson Technical Education Program at Grayson High School and were students of the music production program. Kadadu, a 2014 Duluth High School graduate, was nominated as an engineer for artist JID in the Best Rap Album category. Bernadelle, a 2019 Duluth High School graduate, and Hitt, a 2020 Lanier High School graduate, were both nominated as producers for Flow in the Best Progressive R&B Album category. The Grammy Awards will take place on Sunday, February 1st, 2026.
And Hall County deputies recently surprised 3 families with Christmas gifts. WDUN's Hamilton Keener has the details.
Hall County deputies working on Christmas Day brought holiday cheer to 3 local families by surprising them with gifts of clothing and toys. The Hall County Sheriff's Office shared that A-Watch deputies were excited to spread the Christmas spirit within the community. 2 of the families were identified through recommendations from school resource officers, while the 3rd was chosen after deputies had previously responded to a fire at the family's home.
And you'll find more news online by going to Access WDUN. Now, here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
Good Monday morning, North Georgia. We've got a really windy day on our hands. Clearing skies, slight chance of a shower as temperatures are falling, and they'll end up near 40 later today. Mostly clear skies as temperatures continue to drop into the upper 20s by early Tuesday. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strennan.
In Mulberry, 50 degrees, Tiger down to 45, and in Gainesville, 48. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Hello, Gainesville. This is Carol with the Spa on Green Street. The holidays are quickly approaching, and we are ready for you to come in and shop in our boutique at the Spa on Green Street. We've even put together some special baskets that you can just pick up and go. So don't forget about the Spa on Green Street for your holiday needs. Who in the world at this place and time doesn't need to melt the stress away? So come see us at the spa or order your gift cards online at spaongreenstreet.com.
Waste Eliminator is a full-service waste management company providing critical disposal, recycling, and environmental solutions for business and residential clients. From large-scale commercial projects to smaller residential cleanups, Waste Eliminator offers reliable dumpster rental service tailored to your needs. Whether you're tackling a renovation, new construction, or even a simple home cleanout, Waste Eliminator will manage the waste efficiently and sustainably. Visit online at wasteeliminator.com.
From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show. Talking the issues and filling in for Martha, it's Dr. Tom Smiley on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. Always here, always local.
All right, welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley filling in for Martha today. And we got some great guests lined up all week. I've got Representative Lee Hawkins in the studio today. Tomorrow we'll have Senator Drew Echols in the studio. Wednesday we'll have Representative Emory Donahue in the studio. And we'll also have Bill Crane calling in. So a lot of good folks calling in, a lot of good information. I want you to hear from the best. So been just have a great show. So many texts and so many phone calls today. Thank you so very much. And want to once again congratulate Dan. Dan gets a free book. My third book I plagiarized entitled Uncommon Common Sense. And I'll have that at the studios. Dan, give me a day or two with the holidays and all that. Drop by there and you can pick it up. All right. Well, Representative Hawkins, glad you're here. I know I panicked you because we agreed to 10:30, and then you're driving your car, and I say 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I heard that, so I hurried down here.
Well, thanks so much for coming. So let me begin by just I asked Martha, because she always knows better questions to ask than I do. Give me some questions for Representative Hawkins, for Representative Donahue, and for Senator Echols, and she gave me some questions. And she suggested that you and I talk a little bit about health care.
Okay.
And what do you see out there on the horizon? Can you help clarify a little bit about this debate we're having right now? I mean, what is the argument about when it comes to health care, and how does that affect our state?
Well, it affects us in many ways. The one big beautiful bill, has eliminated future funding in some of our health care and foster children areas. So luckily, we have a very intelligent and big-hearted governor who passed the First Patient First Act, in 2019, which established pathways for Medicaid. It was a 1115 waiver that allowed us to require work, school, or community participation for those childless adults. If you're over age, if you're a child, if you're pregnant, if you're age blind disabled, you qualify for Medicaid already. Also, we did the Access program. Access is like the Federal Marketplace ACA Act, but Access, that was the 1332 waiver, which allows Georgia to actually establish an ACA Act reinsurance program where we help those adults between 100 and 400% of the poverty level with buying their insurance. So it is a private insurance pool, and I think that's definitely the way to go.
So whenever we hear some of these talking heads, very much agenda-driven, narrative-driven talking heads, say we're going to kill people and children are going to die and nobody's going to find health care and health care is going to go out of the roof. There are provisions. I mean, y'all have done stuff, right, to help people who are really in need?
Oh yeah. But what I'm concerned about though is the reinsurance aspect on the ACA Act, and will that affect our access program, our Georgia Access program? The bill does stop some of that money, and people just can't afford to pay huge insurance premiums, especially in this time of day. Mm-hmm. We need more affordability, not less.
Yeah.
So
770-535-2911 is the number for you to text if you want to shoot me over a question for Representative Hawkins. What district are you with? I forget.
I'm sorry.
What district?
27.
27. You're my person.
Yeah.
But I keep forgetting what district I'm in. So if you want to shoot a question over, do that. Text it to me, 770-535-2911, and our extraordinary producer will send it to me, and we'll ask your question to Representative Hawkins. Lee Hawkins is with us today. Tell me a little bit about what's going to be coming up this January, because y'all go back in January, right?
All right.
So anything on the horizon that you're excited about or you're worried about or you're hopeful for? I mean, what's out there?
They're focusing on the property tax. There's going to be some more movement on that. 2 years ago, our delegation did a bill that limited the appraisal to 3% on
thank you for
Homestead.
that. Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome. That was just on Homestead. That's not investment properties, anything like that.
Right.
So this is going to be focused on that. I think there'll also be additional focus on the income tax, lowering that again from the 5.19. We're looking at a number of health care bills, the 341 or 340B drug plan that assists people in buying down or helping them buy their pharmaceuticals, and a number of other bills. I mean, we did some really good stuff last year, and a lot of school protection. I think that will continue, especially with all the violence going on, unfortunately, like you were speaking to earlier about the churches, and so we've got some things to work on.
Where do you stand? I know this is a matter of personal preference, so it's not really right or wrong. I'm just curious. A couple of months ago, I was on the air filling in for Martha, and we had a very robust conversation through text and phone calls about what was better: property tax relief or income tax elimination. So where does this Lee Hawkins citizen stand? I mean, I know everybody has an opinion, but what would work best for you?
Well, excuse me, that's actually in two different areas. Income tax is state income. Property tax is a local, county, city income. So, if we eliminate property tax, what's the county and city going to do? How are they going to fund the fire departments, police departments?
Right. Good
also, schools. Schools are a large part of that. So, I'm not sure how that's going to look on the property tax and how we're going to make that up in some way to the locals. It's still in the discussion phase.
I was really surprised. I did not realize that not every county in the state of Georgia had some type of exemption age for school tax relief.
Right.
And I kept hearing from listeners in like Rayburn County and Habersham County and other mountain counties that said we don't have it. We don't have that exemption.
Right.
In Hall County we do.
Right.
Now I don't know if it's true or not, but I keep hearing rumors that Hall County wants to increase the age exemption number from where it's at now, 70 to 70 more or whatever. But isn't that interesting that not every county, I reckon they just can't afford it. Every county can't afford that exemption.
It depends on how the county population's made up. If you have a county of a lot of retirees, I mean, that really hits your budget. But it is doable by local legislation. We did the local legislation years and years ago. Some of them are means tested. In other words, if you make over a certain amount, you're exempt from that 70-year-old exemption. You will end up paying the tax. So there's different approaches, and it is a local issue.
Yeah. So when it comes to state income tax, I mean, I have to say, I mean, y'all keep whittling this thing down. I mean, it's down to like, 4% or something now, or 5%?
5.19.
I mean, you're whittling it down pretty good.
Right.
Can we be competitive as a state with Tennessee and Florida, who has no income tax?
Right.
Can we be competitive with just whittling ours down, or do we need to join that fray and not have any property tax?
Well, to eliminate the income tax, we're going to have to make it up in some way, because right now we're so efficient in our government. We've got one admin for 4 chairmen. I share an admin with 3 other chairmen, and he's the only one there out of session.
Yeah.
We're part-time lawmakers, but spend a lot of time even on the off season. I was on 4 study committees this summer. So I'm more in the way of having more, help down there at the Capitol. Some of our departments need that. I'm also in favor of paying them more. We lose our best, to folks coming in.
Absolutely.
And seeing how good this person is. No, I could use them.
So what are the other suggestions? I mean, you have the flat tax, you have the fair tax, you have all these other ideas. What's in vogue right now? Who's coming to you more? What lobbyist or what group is coming to you more touting their particular tax plan? Fair taxers or no taxers or flat taxers? I mean, where are we at now?
I really don't hear a lot from them. I think Governor Kemp has picked up this baton and been running with it for his last 2 terms. I think that we're going in the direction that the governor has chosen and the economists he listens to. So I'm good with what we're doing. Anytime you start increasing sales tax, it can hurt a certain segment of the population.
Yeah.
So we have to be very, very smart about what we do. We need to be looking long range. How does this affect people down the road, not just this group, but that group, all Georgians? We want everybody to have, just like health care, we want affordable, quality health care for all Georgians. We want them to also have an affordable, quality life. And so there's a lot of considerations.
Yeah,
on that,
well, it's so much affects so much. I mean, you do one thing, it can affect another.
Exactly.
Like I did have a lady at church tell me, and she was like, wasn't fussing about it, but she said, you know what, Dr. Tom, I agree with the property tax exemption, for certain people, but I don't think it covers commercial tax property, and most of my retirement investments are in commercial property. So I'm not really getting a lot of relief there. So a lot of people are affected a lot of ways.
Right. And something that before I did that 3% cap, I was talking to a lady, and the bill that I did, the 3% cap, is only on homestead, so it did not help her with her old family home. She had a family home that she was not living in, but was renting up in Claremont, and she could no longer afford it, to rent it out because it was the tax and upkeep and insurance was about what she was taking in. So, I think there's some considerations there. Our income tax right now, individual income tax, makes up about 42% of our budget. It's a large part. So we need to be very considerate about when we shift that, how do we shift it?
Yeah.
And also have good quality services for the citizens of Georgia.
We got Representative Lee Hawkins in the studio today, and I really appreciate you coming by. Sure. I really do. I mean, and we're friends. I love this man. He's been a good friend. We've raised our children together. We've been in church together from time to time. We were just reminiscing just about some of the earlier years we've had with our children growing up. I have 2 sons. I know you have 2 sons and a daughter. Three
boys.
Sons, 3 boys and a daughter. Yeah. And so it's been fun these last 20, 30 years growing our lives together. So thanks for coming by. Sure. Can you stay by for just another segment or two? I want you to stay in. If you want to send me a question, 770-535-2911. Just text it to me real quick, and our extraordinary producer will shoot it over to me. 770-535-2911. If you have a question for Representative Hawkins. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley.
What you see is what you get. I call it like I see it. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, ladies and gentlemen. We have always believed that on this radio program.
It's Todd Starnes, weekdays at noon on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Hey there, it's Cody Lovin, owner of Crawl Space Medic. Is your crawl space giving you trouble? Maybe it's moisture, structural issues, or even foul odors? Don't worry, my team and I, we've seen it all. At Crawl Space Medic, we specialize in crawl space repairs, encapsulations, and basement waterproofing, ensuring your home's foundation stays solid and protected. We're all about delivering top-notch service you can trust with solutions that last. Give me a call at 706-410-2400 or visit crawlspacemedic.com for a free evaluation.
I'm Frank Norton, the Norton Agency. My family has created a unique 96-year legacy real estate business. You're human, God's creatures. Our primary mission is to find you a home, putting a roof over you and your family's heads. Warmth, comfort, security, that's our job. You need Norton by your side, now more than ever. Call us at 770-532-0022 or look for us on the web at gonorton.com. Our family serving North Georgia for 4 generations.
Thanks to your generous support, Georgia Mountain Food Bank with our pantry partners have been able to provide over 700,000 nutritious meals each month to families in our community. This year, we have seen the need for food assistance grow exponentially. You can feed hope by filling plates this holiday season by giving to the Georgia Mountain Food Bank. And thanks to a generous matching gift from Milton Martin Toyota, every dollar you donate will be doubled, providing even more meals to neighbors who are struggling to put food on the table. Give today or learn how you can invest in our community at gmfb.org.
This is Grant Nichols, and at Loretta's Country Kitchen, we know life can really pile up. There's work, getting the kids to practice, shopping. With all that, the week can really wear you out. The last thing you want to do is spend Saturday in the kitchen. Not to worry, we have you covered with Saturday lunch at Loretta's. That's right, not only are we open for breakfast on Saturdays, we're also serving up lunch from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Give your kitchen and your family a break with Saturday lunch at Loretta's Country Kitchen, Mundy Mill Road, Oakwood, where it's all good.
Should you make your trust the beneficiary of your IRA? So many say you shouldn't, but we say you should. This is Kevin Tharp, elder law and estate planning attorney, and if you want your IRA to be protected for your surviving spouse, children, or family, then you should leave it to them at your death through a trust. For more information, go to my website, kevintharp.com.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, the search for a missing 11-year-old girl from Flowery Branch continues from Sunday evening. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley filling in for Martha. We got Representative Lee Hawkins, otherwise known as Dean Hawkins. We know where that comes from, right? Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something about Lee Hawkins, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a question for him in just a minute. But Representative Hawkins, I want to tell you, I will never forget and will always admire and appreciate your courage and your steadfastness. When I was chairman of the Hall County Election Board, we had some issues. We had some issues. And it fell upon your delegation to help resolve some of that, to fix some of that. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Lee Hawkins, he told me what he would do, how he would do it. And I'm going to tell you, he was 100% true to his word. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
I never doubted you, and you were true. You said, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to support. This is how I can help. And Representative, you did that. And I will always admire and appreciate you for doing that.
Well, thank you.
You always honored your word.
Right.
Well, the one big beautiful bill, that was passed had some provisions for states, right?
Right.
Tell us relative to Georgia what that might mean for us and what people need to know about that.
Right. Well, in this short time, let's focus on the health care because, of course, that's my area, chairing the health care committee. Mm-hmm. The big beautiful bill puts out $50 billion to states. One half of that is going to be divided among the states, and then the states can apply for more. Georgia's applied for $1.4 billion. 30 million of that is going to be used for the Gateway computer. That's a computer system that does the now waivers. A lot of the programs that's used for food and FMAPs and that type of thing. 428 million is going to be used to incentivize 86 rural hospitals where we're having a lot of problem. It's going to work with them to establish primary care and preventive care. Really focus on that. We're going to use about $175 million to increase our residency slots in the state of Georgia. Georgia trains a lot of physicians and dentists, but we train them, but we don't retain them. Once they get into their residency slots. So we're spreading the money across the horizon. The one thing, though, that I was disappointed in the one big beautiful bill is that it limits 15% for paying the providers, which are our physicians and hospitals.
Right.
And they're really underpaid right now. That's part of the problem. Medicaid pays about 68% of cost, and Medicare is all the way down to about 84% of cost.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having trouble, getting hospitals up and running and keeping them running in the rural areas on those kind of numbers.
Who oversees that $50 billion, that 1.4 for us? As a state, who kind of manages that money? Is it the governor's office or is it the reps or who does that?
It would be the governor's office and also the Department of Community Health. A lot of that.
Gotcha.
Those programs are running through there, and DHS, but DCH is the money manager for our healthcare programs. Yeah.
So we got about a minute or two left. So what do you? Can you stay for a little bit longer?
Yeah,
I want you to stay. We got some
Right.
questions and all that. But so what about that 1.4 billion? You mentioned some of it being used here or there. What's most exciting to you about that? What are we going to use of that for that really excites you? That's available.
Helping the rural hospitals. They just really had a hard time with making ends meet. We have gone around the state the last few years and had meetings with just about half of them. Spent a lot of time in listening to them. The largest segment of population they serve are Medicare patients, because the youth are leaving South and Middle Georgia, and with the Medicare payments not keeping up with the CPI of healthcare. CPI on healthcare typically runs between 8 and 10%, when regular CPI for us, inflation is between 2 and 4. So it's been real hard on the medical, and a lot of it is in the technology. I mean, we spend so much money in technology. My son told me the other day he's got to buy a new computer system and software system because they quit serving it or whatever, they supporting it. All of a sudden they quit supporting it. That happens to us in the state.
Right.
And it's very expensive.
Yeah. Well, when we come back in this moment, I want to get your take on what's happening in Minnesota.
Okay.
How in the world, Representative Hawkins? I mean, really now, how did the governor Waltz? How did he not know about all that? I mean, we're talking about over $9 billion now. They say is gone.
Right.
And here we got 1.4 billion, from the big beautiful bill.
Right.
How in the world do you just lose? How do you just lose tabs on that?
I have no idea. I mean, obviously, he's not talking to the department, so they're not talking back to him. Our governor's office works very well with all our departments. I've been very impressed with our governor. I got to tell you, I knew him years and years ago when he was in the Senate.
Well, we'll come back and talk more about that. We've got Representative Lee Hawkins, really, really good conversation. And I've got some questions that some folks have sent in, so we'll get to some of that and other things that you want to talk about. I want this to be your time as well. So you're talking to Lee Hawkins on the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley. We'll be right back.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all our friends and family of Hayes Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac of Baldwin. It's model year closeout and Santa's got some deals over at Hayes. How about new 2025 Sierras up to $12,000 off MSRP with trade assistance, and new 2025 Suburban High Countries up to $10,000 off MSRP, and new 2025 GMC Acadias up to $4,000 off MSRP, and 1.9% finance for up to 36 months. Stop in at Hayes Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac in Baldwin.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat when you score a point. Kids, teens, and adults can start anytime. No experience needed, and many clubs have loaner gear. Coaches teach fundamentals and safety from day one. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
Seems to be as many superstitions about the new year as there are days on the calendar. An Irish superstition says that banging a loaf of stale bread against the walls will bring you a plentiful year. Nice, but I think I'd rather use it to make a sandwich. Hey, it's Bill Main, hoping your resolution for 2026 is to start your day with me, Steve, and Logan on Mornings on Main Street, here on North Georgia's News Talk.
WDUN Gainesville, WDUN FM Clarksville, Gainesville. Always here, always local.
It's 10:30.
Fox News, I'm Deanna
Diana Jelosi. President Trump hosts world leaders and pushes for peace. Today, Trump is going to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on his Gaza peace plan. Yesterday, he held a big meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky on talks aimed at ending the war with Russia.
Both he and Zelensky say that their meeting was excellent, but there are still some concerns. Some of those issues are territorial concessions, which is very sensitive for Ukrainians. And Zelensky says there would need to be a referendum to give up any territory.
Fox's Madison Scarpino in West Palm Beach. A winter storm is slamming the Midwest, creating some travel headaches for those heading home from the holidays. Fox Weather's Adam Klotz.
At times, this has been up to a blizzard that's beginning to scale back a little bit, but there's still some blizzard warnings out there. Winds have been 50, 60 miles an hour, so any snow that's already on the ground still blowing around, making visibility very low for folks.
America's listening to Fox News.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet Newsroom, I'm Steve Winslow, and the search is ongoing for a missing juvenile girl out of Flowery Branch. WDUN's Lawson Smith has details.
A press release from Monday from FBPD says Sarah Magaga, an 11-year-old female, was last seen after walking away from her residence on Screech Owl Drive Sunday evening at around 7 p.m. As of last update, her whereabouts are unknown. Anyone with information regarding Sarah Magaga's location is urged to call Flowery Branch 911 immediately. A photo of Sarah can be found online at Access WDUN.
Two people being treated for injuries suffered in a DeKalb County plane crash as the twin-engine aircraft went down in the backyard of a home on Homeland Drive in Doraville Sunday morning. Injuries are considered non-life-threatening as the NTSB continues to investigate. Teachers in Gwinnett County have been awarded grants to support creative and innovative school projects, as Gwinnett County Public Schools says that Jackson EMC has awarded 21 teachers with over $32,000 in total to support various projects in their classrooms. Bright Ideas Initiative is awarded to teachers who submit an innovative and creative classroom project that would enhance students' learning experiences. More details online at Access WDUN. Now here's your Access WDUN weather forecast.
Good Monday morning, North Georgia. We've got a really windy day on our hands. Clearing skies, slight chance of a shower as temperatures are falling and they'll end up near 40 later today. Mostly clear skies as temperatures continue to drop into the upper 20s by early Tuesday. From the Access WDUN Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Holly Strano.
In Cleveland, currently 45 degrees. In Lawrenceville, 49. And in Gainesville, 47. From North Georgia's News Talk, AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Full Bloom Nursery is now closed for winter and will reopen for the spring season in March. This is Kelly letting you know that we have services we offer during the winter, including consultation, design services for spring planting, and also pruning and maintenance of your landscape. Winter is a great time to get a head start on planning that beautiful landscape you've been wanting to achieve. Visit our website at fullbloomnursery.com and select the contact button to send us a message and get started on your landscaping goals.
Have you been driving 25 in a 55-mile-per-hour zone? Are your passengers concerned about your vision? Don't let glare at night or in the rain slow you down. Hi, this is Kim. Here at Advanced Eye Center, we offer all laser LASIK, clear lens exchange, specialty lenses with laser cataract surgery, as well as contacts and designer glasses. Our doctors handle a wide variety of vision problems for people of all ages and are skilled at providing fantastic solutions. Come see why we're voted best in Hall County year after year. Advanced Eye Center, vision correction for all ages.
It's the Martha Zoller Show, presented by Gainesville Mechanical, from the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. I am Tom Smiley filling in for Martha. I'm so very glad to be here. We've had a great day. Really, it's been fun. We've had a lot of conversation, a lot of text coming in, and now here for a little while, Representative Hawkins, Lee Hawkins, has been with us talking about some various stuff, which is very informative. You know, there's something about wisdom and age. I mean, you know, you've been there.
Yeah.
You've been there a while.
Yeah, I have. I ran in 2006 to replace Casey Kagels in the Senate. He ran for lieutenant governor.
Right.
And everything worked out. Our baby was going to college, and Ben had come out of dental school. And my father had always told me, he said, if you really want to make a difference in the issues, and especially healthcare, you got to be on the other side of the door, not on the side that you are now. I was legislative chairman for the Dental Association, but a lot of that was messing my mic up here. Now I'm back. A lot of that was medical issues, not dental.
Right.
And so I saw an opportunity and was fortunate. The people of Hall County sent me down there, and I've enjoyed it ever since.
You still seem to have a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I learn something every day. I'm after this, I'm going to lunch with Tim Evans. He's going to teach me more about data centers.
Right. Yeah, that's been in the news a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been studying him. We had a lot of discussions last year, but Tim's a really smart boy, and he's been studying, and I want to hear his point of view, the information he's got.
Yeah.
We don't know everything. I mean, that's something I've learned in politics is I learn something new every day.
So I think we have a mutual friend. I won't say his name, but you and I have a mutual friend. We both play golf together. And he asked me on the golf course one time, and he sent in a question here to ask you. What's your take about getting rid of the CON, which is Certificate of Need? What's your opinion about that? What are you finding? Is that he our friend here is talking about how it's just killing medicine,
right?
And he has some concerns about it. What do you think about those Certificate of Need issues?
We've gotten into that a number of times in the last 20 years I've been down there, and actually revamped some of the CON 2 years ago. The important thing about CON is it helps protect some of those smaller hospitals when they make investments in certain maybe radiology machines, other very expensive investments. So it keeps someone else from coming in close to that area and say they only do insurance, they do not do Medicaid, Medicare, or indigent care, which, like I said before, we want quality, affordable care for all Georgians, not just part of Georgia.
Yeah.
So it helps with protecting that. We, like I said, we refined it. I think we did a good job on taking some of the limits off and opening it up some. We'll continue to look at it. Things evolve. Healthcare evolves into different models.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to be diligent and keep our eyes open and be willing to make changes because it's all about the patients.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what's best for patients. Yeah.
Now, we've got another one of our listeners has texted in, and this is, I can use her name because she's with an organization called Moms Against Gambling, Jenny Seaver, Moms Against Gambling. And she's called in, she's texted in, and she said, what is your opinion about the gambling push to legalize sports betting, casinos, and horse racing in Georgia? And this again from Jenny Seaver, Moms Against Gambling. Where are we at with this gambling issue in Georgia? Lot of interest in that. Right.
The interest is brought about by the income it can produce for like our Hope Scholarship. We've had some meetings with the Hope Scholarship lottery folks this over the interim. Some of their numbers have gone down. I think some of that's probably being lost to the sports betting. You can do it on your phone now in Georgia. I don't do that. I always work so hard for what I have, and I got kids everywhere I turn and grandkids, But I think the sports betting is plausible since it's already being done. I was down there when they were doing the vote on the lottery, not in the legislature, but on the outside representing the Dental Association and all. And I heard over and over again, oh, you're going to Hades if you vote for this. And Zell Miller was the one pushing it. So it's reminiscent for me of those days.
Right.
And the sports betting now has been really worked on and narrowed down, so it will also go to Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have that much of a problem with that. As far as, the gambling casinos and all, we have people going out of state to do that. There is, the debate is about the criminal element.
Yeah, what it brings with it. I'm just not in favor of the casinos. I don't think we need them. People have other ways to exercise that if they want to do that.
Right.
But my concern, especially with casinos, is the the element that it brings in.
Right.
And I don't know that we need that, but I reckon. It's going to come to a head sooner or later. I mean, we've been kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, and I don't know that we're going to take it up this year. I've heard that that's going to be put off on the side because we got other things to debate and tackle. I mean, I could show you a list of the bills I have in my committee still that my aide sent it to me the other day, and I'm looking at it and going, whoa, I got a lot of work. I mean, I get there at 7 o'clock in the morning and read for an hour undisturbed. I read more now than I was than I did when I was in dental school.
Well, what you should do, a representative, is you should just vote for it and then read it. I mean, that seems to work. That's what Nancy Pelosi told us we could do, is just vote for it before we can read it.
That's sort of like, at home, I do what I'm told and then figure out whether it was good or bad.
We're talking to Representative Lee Hawkins. Got him for a few more minutes today, so appreciate your text. I appreciate your questions. Anything else that's really on your mind you want to talk about that's concerning to you? I mean, we were talking about the data centers, and recently that's been in our news. We've had someone in our local community recently voted that down. Yeah. People are opposed to it for various reasons. What are you seeing about that?
Well, that is a changing industry. When they first started, they were open systems where the water would run in and cool and then run back out. So you're looking at possible pollution and contamination. Huge amounts of electricity required. In some models, in some states, that was passed on to the consumer. Those issues are being resolved. There's closed systems now, although there's still a fair amount of evaporation. I've been assured by our county commissioners that we have the water capacity to do that. Like I told you, I'm going to meet with Tim Evans here after this, and we're going to sit down and talk about it. I think Tim's done a lot of research, and I'm sure knows more than I do. Legislators don't know everything. I mean, we know what we read and what we're told, and sometimes that information changes. Yeah. Sometimes it's not even right on the front end. So I'm always open to listening and learning from other people, and that's what I want to do this morning with Tim. I think there's a great opportunity with the data centers, with AI emerging. You asked what we're going to be looking at this year. That's one of the things, AI, laws and rulings about that, and to make sure that's going in the right direction and not getting out of the guardrails. I think it's a great future.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by. I really do, and thank you so very much. We'll take a quick break here in a little bit. I'll come back. I got a few more stories I want to share with you before we close out our day. Don't forget, tomorrow we have, Senator Drew Eccles coming by, and Representative Hawkins. You can call in and, aggravate him, and Emory Donahue. So
I'm going to miss him, too.
I know. I know. He's been very much of a staple there. Yeah. But my friend, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming by today.
Thank you.
And God bless your work. Good luck to you. I know you've got a lot to go on.
Thank you.
It's going to be a very busy year with the election and everything coming up.
Yeah.
So, but thanks for spending some time today with us.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you, too.
Well, thank you. Representative Lee Hawkins has been with us today. I appreciate him so much. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and I'll wrap up this section of the Martha Zoller Show. Thank you so much.
Get your day going with a show that wakes you up faster than your coffee. Mornings on Main Street on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Your roof protects your family, your guests, your pets, and your most precious belongings from the elements, and you hardly think about it, especially if it's a metal roof from Dawsonville Metal Products. Dawsonville Metal Products is your metal roofing specialist, ready to give your home a new look that will last a lifetime. Call Dawsonville Metal Products today at 706-265-3099 or log on to their website, DawsonvilleMetal.com. That's Dawsonville Metal Products, everything that matters under one roof.
It doesn't matter if you're a homeowner or running a business. Waste happens. Your go-to to make it go away? Waste Eliminator. They offer collection, disposal, recycling, and environmental services for business and home cleanout. Visit wasteeliminator.com. Click Order Dumpster, and before you know it, your dumpster is reporting for duty. Yep, it's that easy. Environmentally responsible and committed to customer service. It's Waste Eliminator. See them today at wasteeliminator.com.
We're talking with Mike Robertson of Oakwood Tire and More. And Mike, I understand you guys are going to be moving. Where are you headed?
We're going to move to 3440 Mabry Road, which is right off of Mountain View.
Still offering the same services?
We won't be doing alignments, but we'll be doing tires. Tires, brakes, batteries, tune-ups, those kind of things that normal maintenance repair.
Sounds good. Give us the address one more time. Make sure we don't miss out.
You can find us at 3440 Mabry Road at oakwoodtire.com or even the same phone number, 770-535-0943.
This is Mike Martin of Milton Martin Toyota in Gainesville. Our prayer should be that we should strive for excellence in all that we do for the Master of the universe. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for men. It is the Lord Christ who you are serving. Colossians 3:23 and 24. Milton Martin Toyota supports the ministry of My Sister's Place. My Sister's Place is located in Gainesville and offers immediate shelter for homeless women and their children. Food, childcare, and local transportation needs are also provided. My Sister's Place allows women to regain their hope and dignity in a safe and loving environment. Most importantly, ladies are led to walk with Christ and are assisted in finding God's direction for their lives. The phone number for My Sister's Place is 770-532-5111 or mysistersplace.org. This message has been brought to you by the staff of Milton Martin Toyota in Gainesville. Our website is miltonmartintoyota.com.
Always here, always local.
From the Access WDUN Hardy Chevrolet newsroom, over 20 teachers from Gwinnett County Schools are awarded grants for project support from a Jackson EMC initiative. Details at Access WDUN and coming up on North Georgia's News Talk.
Use the Access WDUN Talk and Text line, presented by M&R Rental at 770-535-2911, and be part of the conversation. From the Northeast Georgia Health System studio in downtown Gainesville, it's the Martha Zoller Show on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN.
Welcome back to the Martha Zoller Show. What a great segment. I'm going to tell you, that I've interviewed Representative Hawkins many times. And that may be my all-time favorite. Well, I wish you could have seen, and I say I wish you could have seen us. You could have seen us if you had just gone on to the YouTube and put in there Access WDUN and clicked on and scrolled down and whatever you do. And there we are, right there. There I am now. And you could have seen us face to face. But man, what a great interview, and just so knowledgeable. I'm sure you don't agree with everything that Lee Hawkins thinks or says. I doubt you agree with everything I think or say. But it's good to have this conversation. And a good man, a wise man. All right. Well, as the man on Dragnet said.
Just the facts, ma'am.
So I want to talk about this Donald Trump touting his policies. The Democrats are really attacking Republicans on affordability. That's their new catchword. Without mentioning that, what they did to destroy affordability during the 4 years of Biden, they don't mention. I mean, you have to understand, 9% inflation, 10 million immigrants illegally entering our country. This tax bill that he had. I mean, there went your affordability. They don't mention that. And I think Trump has had enough. I think he's going to begin to shift his strategy a little bit, at least I hope he does, and start talking about what he has actually done and what his policies are producing. Now, let me tell you something. It is about both Wall Street and Main Street. I get that. I get that many people listening to me today aren't as involved or concerned about Wall Street as I am. I'm a retired person. I have a 401k. I've invested in it for 42 years, and now I'm living off of it. I'm living off the dividends, and I have to watch it. And so I check my portfolio. I check my interest rates. Our investment rate. I check all that regularly because that's the basis of my income. But I get that's not everybody. I get there are other people out there that are just beginning their careers, just beginning to work, trying to buy a house for the first time, single moms. I get that. And I know their emphasis is more on Main Street, more on their every day, every other week paycheck. And all of that's important. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to get any better with the Democrats in charge. It's not. They're lunatics. I mean, this thing about it like this. If you can't trust a Democrat to vote against putting boys in girls' bathrooms, how in the world can you trust them to develop and create and support, advocate for sound fiscal policy or sound immigration policy or sound national defense policy? Really? You're really going to put in the hands of those kinds of lunatics who can't not be for boys in girls' bathrooms? You're going to put them in charge of your tax system, your immigration system, your national defense system, your foreign policy? You're going to put them in charge of that? So I don't know what you're hearing and who you're hearing it from, but, I realize there are some people who are struggling. But I'm going to tell you, the answer is not in electing more Democrats. The answer is getting rid of the ones we have, in my opinion. So here's Donald Trump. You like him or not, but here he is talking about what his policies are producing.
Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now,
just the facts, ma'am.
Well, there you go. There you go. Like it or lump it. I don't know what else to say to you. Either that's true or it's not. 11 months ago, according to President Trump, he inherited a mess. Well, what was that mess? Well, I'm just looking at the facts. I'm just looking at the facts, and I can tell you that car prices were up 22%. Gasoline was up 30%. I mean, this is all from over today. Hotels, 50%. Mortgage prices were up $15,000. All of that under Democratic rule. Are you really going to trust these lunatic, Democrat, socialist, Marxist, progressive wokes with this kind of stuff, with your vote and with your future? I don't know. Again, you may not like the orange hair man. I don't know, but I think you got to like his policies. All right, I'm going to end today with Wesley Hunt. He's running for, I believe it's Senate in Texas. Listen to how he answered the question about whether you should vote for a black man.
There's never been African American or black man to serve in any statewide offices in Texas.
Well, there's actually also never been an Apache pilot to serve in these roles. There's also never been a West Point grad. There's also never been somebody that has the lineage of my family of 60 years worth of military service. And look, I am a black man that's currently elected in a white majority district that President Trump would have won by 20 points. The color of my skin is completely irrelevant. What people need to know is I bleed Texas. If I'm the first black man in this role, well, I guess that's great, but I would also like to say that I'm a lot of things before you want to talk about the color of my skin. I am a very proud veteran. I am a father. I am a husband. Most importantly, I am a follower of Christ, and that's exactly what Texans want, and I believe that they could really care less about what I look like.
That's the answer you give when the Democratic, woke, Marxist, socialist wants to talk about race and the color of your skin. That's the answer you give. Well done, hopefully, future Senator Wesley Hunt from the great state of Texas. Well, it's been a joy being with you today. I am Tom Smiley. I'll be back with you tomorrow with more great stories, a lot of good sound bites, just a lot. We'll have some great conversation. So you plan on joining me tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock as I fill in